All right, folks, buckle up because today we're diving deep into a project so ambitious it's almost hard to believe.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking AI, but not just any AI. This is next level stuff. Think Stargate, like straight out of science fiction, but real.
It is wild.
This deep dive is all about Project Stargate, and yeah, it's actually called that based on what we learned from the podcast episode. Project Stargate, the $500 billion AI revolution. That's right, you heard that number correctly.
Hmm.
Potentially 500 billion.
$500 billion. It's mind-boggling.
Mind-boggling is an understatement. We're talking the largest AI data centers ever built right here in the U.S., potentially creating something like 100,000 new jobs.
It's a pretty massive undertaking, to say the least.
So before we get lost in the numbers, I got to ask, what exactly is this Stargate thing and why should anyone care?
Well, imagine a future where AI is doing things we can barely dream of today. Designing life-saving drugs, optimizing entire cities, even giving you a personalized education tailored to your exact learning style. That's the potential we're talking about here.
That's a pretty compelling vision. But how do we even get there? Who are the masterminds behind this whole operation?
So you've got OpenAI, the brains behind ChatGPT, teaming up with SoftBank, known for their bold, some might even say risky investments in tech. And then you've got Oracle, the cloud computing giant, bringing their expertise to the table.
Okay, I'm starting to see how the pieces fit together. OpenAI's got the AI smarts, SoftBank's got the cash, and Oracle's got the infrastructure to make it all happen, right?
Exactly. It's like they've assembled the ultimate AI dream team. But of course, it's never that simple.
Right, because even in the podcast we listened to, there were definitely some doubts. Like Elon Musk, he's not exactly shy about expressing his opinions, and even he was skeptical about whether all that promised funding would actually come through.
Yeah, he's got a point. I mean, when you're talking about sums of money that big, it's natural to wonder if it'll all pan out. And then there's the question of global competition. I mean, the U.S. isn't the only player in this AI game.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. I remember reading somewhere that China is already ahead of the game when it comes to certain AI applications like facial recognition technology. So how does Project Stargate fit into this global AI race?
Well, I think that's precisely what this project is all about. It's not just about advancing AI for the sake of it. It's about the U.S. maintaining its position as a global leader in this technology that's likely to reshape the world as we know it.
So kind of like a strategic move to stay ahead of the curve, make sure the U.S. doesn't fall behind in the AI race.
Exactly. But, it's not just about national pride or even economic dominance. This technology has the potential to impact every aspect of our lives, from the jobs we do to the way we interact with the world around us.
So let's get back to the nuts and bolts of Project Stargate for a second. What will these AI data centers actually do? I mean, how do they work?
Well, they're essentially massive computing hubs designed to handle the huge amounts of data and processing power needed to train and run large language models. These are the AI models that can understand and respond to human language in a way that's much more sophisticated than anything we've seen before.
Okay, so like ChatGPT on steroids.
Yeah, exactly. Think ChatGPT, but a million times more powerful and capable of tackling much more complex tasks. And to build and run those models, you need a lot of computing power, and that's where these data centers come in.
Got it. So massive data centers, super-powered AI models, all aimed at making the U.S. the undisputed leader in AI. But that's the big picture, right? But what about the specifics? What kind of impact could this have on people's everyday lives?
Well, think about healthcare, for example. Imagine AI helping doctors diagnose diseases more accurately and develop personalized treatments. Or in education, AI tutors could provide customized learning experiences for every student. And in fields like transportation and energy, AI could optimize systems to make them more efficient and sustainable.
Yeah, all those things sound amazing. But let's be real. This level of AI advancement is bound to create some challenges too, right? I mean, what about the potential for job displacement?
Yeah, that's definitely a valid concern. Anytime you have automation on this scale, there's a risk of jobs being lost. But the podcast also suggests that Project Stargate could create as many jobs as it displaces, maybe even more, especially in fields like AI development, data science, and engineering. It's all about adapting and preparing for the changing job market.
So it's kind of like a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Potential benefits, but also potential risks that we need to be mindful of.
Precisely. And that brings us to another crucial aspect that the podcast touches on: the ethical implications of AI. As these AI models become more powerful and integrated into our lives, we have to think carefully about things like bias, privacy, and control. We need to ensure that AI is developed and used responsibly and ethically.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's not just about building the most powerful AI. It's about building AI that benefits humanity as a whole.
Right, exactly. And that's something we all need to be part of the conversation about. What kind of future do we want with AI? What role should it play in our lives? These are questions we need to be asking ourselves now.
So I think it's safe to say that Project Stargate is a pretty big deal. It has the potential to revolutionize a lot of industries and impact all of our lives in ways we can't even fully imagine yet. But there's also a lot of uncertainty. Will it live up to the hype? Will it create more problems than it solves? I guess only time will tell.
Yeah, it's a gamble for sure. A gamble on the future of AI and maybe even the future of humanity, but it's definitely a gamble worth watching.
It definitely is. And for our listeners out there, I think the takeaway here is that we're living in a time of unprecedented technological change, and AI is at the forefront of that change. So stay informed, stay curious, and most importantly, stay engaged in the conversation about the future of AI, because it's a future that's being shaped right now.
Absolutely. The future of AI is the future of all of us.
Well said. And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive into Project Stargate. Thanks for joining us.